Welcome to day 4.
Hi, this is Patrick McKenna from Houston Heat, and I'm here with How to Play Paintball. And I guess the best advice I give for divisional players out there would be to work on your snap shooting and your transitional speed between bunker to bunker. I think that's one of the biggest differences in the pro division to the divisional division, is being able to make that quick shot and get across that gap. So, Patrick McKenna, Houston Heat.
But you can see how great Sunday's going. It's almost like a good thing that we didn't move on, because playing in here would be would definitely be rough. So we're heading back to the car. Gonna head over to the airport, and I will do my final thoughts there. So thanks to Pat for doing that quick little interview. So a lot of it, guys, if you're looking to move up in your divisions and all that, really work on your fundamentals. Make sure that you are working on that stuff. Those are things that you can control. Sometimes the paint might be bad. Sometimes someone's not doing their job or whatever, but there's certain things that you're able to control. So make sure that you're working on that. So head over and see you guys in a bit. All right, let's talk about the event. So let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. It is pretty late, so these are the things that I do for you guys. So hey, enjoy it. So as of filming this, I don't know how they're going to pick the pro teams for the next event. So for those that don't know, they canceled the pro matches for Sunday. So I don't know how they're going to work all that out. I think what they'll do is go ahead and have the Atlantic City layout be a different thing from this. The pros will finish with this layout for the Sunday stuff, and then start the tournament for the next event. And it's only like five sets of matches, so it's not going to be a whole lot to go through that. But yeah, so maybe again, as of filming this, I don't know what's going to happen. So if you know, put it down in the comments down below and help us out. So the other thing is that there's some kind of shakeups with semi-pro, which is a good thing. So congrats to New York Wrecking Crew for winning. Leverage, I think, is still first overall right now, but it's good. Like, it's a pretty tight race right now, so I think that's definitely a good thing for paintball just in general. So let's talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. So the good with this is flights weren't too bad to get in. You had DFW and Dallas Love, so you had 2 options, and it was only about 30 minutes from Dallas Love and about 45 minutes to an hour from Dallas Fort Worth, so it's not terrible, and that just makes it easier for people to have options to fly into and then be able to get out and go home. So that's definitely a good thing. The other thing was that I felt like there was a lot of options for places to stay, so that was definitely a plus. And there were options that were literally, like, where the hotel that I was at was 6 minutes from the field, which is fantastic, which is awesome. So that kind of stuff is great, because then you don't have to wake up even earlier for early matches. You can just go ahead, wake up, and not have to like rush. You can have breakfast, and oh, it's peaceful, it's wonderful. Another good thing was the venue itself. I thought that it was all pretty level grass on all the fields. There was a lot of just good things about the location itself. It was kind of weird that you just pulled into basically a neighborhood and all of a sudden there's the event. Kind of reminded me of the old Chicago events that were literally in the middle of a neighborhood. So for my old school paintballers that knew about that. Let's talk about the bad. The reffing, and I don't ever want to be that guy that's just like, the refs are blah, 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 blah. But there is something to that. I know for us, we had 2 buzzer beaters that even one of the guys on Dynamic that we ended up playing in the last match, we were each other's last match, when we played TJ, they were like, wait, they gave them that point because that guy had a hit on him and shot your last 2 players. So that kind of stuff, it's annoying, because that would have kept us from just losing in that. It would have gone into overtime, which I totally would have been fine with. Also, there was another one that My understanding is that with Ology, it was another buzzer beater. They're sprinting in, and they didn't actually hit the buzzer, they just hit the box. So maybe it was a translation thing that they said box, and they meant the actual little buzzer button. But if they meant just the box, that's not the rule. You need to hit the buzzer. I'm okay with it being up to the ref. I'm okay with it being up to the, I didn't know that was on a timer, up to the ref's discretion, if, you know, they hit it on time or not. But the rule is still the button, not the box, because if that's the case, then yeah, that's just not the rule. So that kind of stuff isn't cool. So yeah, I mean, of course, having the reffing not be the best is kind of upsetting. You know, it's just one of those things that, especially, you know, playing pro and then now playing semi-pro, you expect that the upper echelon refs should be better than the other divisional refs. So another bad thing was the location of the porta potties. I know it's another weird one to say. They were all at the very front of the event. So if you were way in the back, you had to walk all the way to the front and then walk all the way back. So that kind of stuff is just kind of annoying, just because it's like, well, why are we not having these in two areas, like the front and the back? This thing keeps going out, so the lighting's gonna be a little bit different because this one wants to stay on. I probably just jinxed it. And now it turned on. My car is haunted. So that kind of stuff is just annoying. It's just not considerate of the players. There was a bunch of porta potties, which is great because there was a decent amount of people there, but it wasn't something that was like, it wasn't beneficial. The location of the paint trucks was another bad for this. I understand that it's easier for the semi trucks to get in and out because it was on asphalt, but it was so far from the divisional fields. And for semi-pro and for pro, that's cool. Like, that you could walk right out, get your paint, come right back, and it wasn't too bad. But the divisional guys had to walk all the way through, walk around another area, and then walk to their matches, and that kind of stuff is just like the real money maker. The people that you really need to make happy are those divisional teams. Those are the guys that are really putting in, you know, blood, sweat, and tears. Not that pro and semi-pro aren't, but they usually have help. They usually have a pit crew. They usually have people that are there to help, to assist, blah, 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 with them. Whereas, you know, the smaller division teams are not going to have that. Now, with the ugly was the timing of the event. And this isn't something that I want to... Weather is difficult. You can't always predict the weather. You can't always know when is it that the weather is going to be good or bad, but you can look at trends. And I feel like for the most part, the Texas event during this time of year is really bad for that. Like, don't have it during this time of the year. I don't know if the NXL is getting a kickback from certain cities in the Texas, you know, whatever city that we go into, but it's not good. That's not something that's a good thing, because yeah, it's great for the NXL to get that kickback, but if they're doing it at the detriment of the weather not being at the best that it could be for that particular area, then that's not beneficial. It's kind of like when they have the NXL Vegas Open in March. Well, that's during spring break, that's during March Madness, it's all during times that people want to go to Vegas, so the prices are all going to go up, and it's like, no, let's do that at a different time. So those kinds of things are just not good. When it's been the trend that it's been not the best and it's been rainy, then people get hurt. Like, I saw one of the NYX players, I think, was kind of limping. There was another player I saw limping, and it's just like, let's try to help our players as best as possible. Yes, playing in the rain and the mud is going to happen, and you have to be ready for that. I totally get that, but you also want to put yourself in the best situation that you can. Now, for those that are not understanding why it is that they cancel the pro events and move them, I feel like I need to say this because it's something that people are thinking like, oh, well, they just couldn't handle it. No, they would have played. Like, it just would have been another factor that the teams would have had to deal with. They all voted, except for one, voted to postpone it. And I agree with this, because you got to think about little Johnny and his younger division team that have saved up knowing that there's going to be a Texas event. That might be the only event that they can play for the NXL, and then they play local league stuff, or maybe they save up after that to go to World Cup. To tell them that, by the way, you need to play your matches, and then we're going to have to stop at a certain point just because we're not going to be able to do it on Monday, because, again, people have to go to work and go to school and all that. And now you have to go to Atlantic City to finish it for just one day. You can't do that to those players. Now, for those that are in pro, you are going to be at that event because that is the season. You're a part of the 20 teams that are in pro. Those are the ones that you need to go to. So for those that are kind of confused with that decision, I mean, even like the semi-pro matches, when I was looking the scores, it was like around 5 something or whatever. My flight took off at 7:45, well, a little bit later actually, but you got to think like, okay, let's say I made it into the finals and we played at 5 something. For me to have to try to get over to the airport to get through TSA, then you might miss your flight and now you're missing work. And it's just like, maybe your flight was already set for like 6 o'clock, because usually the games are done by like 4 or like 3:30 or whatever. So to take out the pro matches, and now that opens up another field that games can be played on, so that way it can be pushed, you know, we can kind of finish everything out. That's why. And I agree with that. I know some people I saw a post about it talking like, oh, well, they just don't want to play. If it was just the way that it was, okay, I'll deal with it. But I hope that makes sense. It's not that they are, you know, like back in the good old days and, you know, Mardi Gras open and everyone played or whatever. Yeah, it's just a scheduling thing, and you already have these teams that are going to be going regardless. Overall, I think the event was good. I just really would like to see the NXL change around the dates for Texas. I mean, it's great because it's right in the middle, so everyone can, you know, fly to it easily, travel to it easily, but it doesn't seem like this is the right time to have a Texas event. It also was way too close to Vegas. Like I had mentioned before, the reason why I went and played with Lost Dutchman was because Vendetta, it was too quick of a turnaround from Vegas. Like, it was like, oh no, we can't afford that as a team. So the decision was made, well, let's skip this one and then we'll go to the other ones. It just isn't something that it was going to be feasible for us. So that's why I played with them. I get scheduling is difficult, but let's look at the time frame, and not everyone has crazy budgets. It's going to be difficult for people to be able to turn around and do that. So I think that they should change around the date for that. But I guess overall it was good. I wouldn't say it was amazing. There's obviously flaws. There's always going to be something to do better. But put in the comments down below, what is it that you guys thought of the event? But if there is something that you would like for me to cover, you can also put that down in the comments down below. Maybe there's something you want help with. You can do that down there as well. So thank you everyone for watching. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.